what's up, YouTube? This is your host, King Gio. Today we're going to talk about who is the poorest man in baseball. The poorest man in baseball is Mets owner Steve Cohen. Now I know you're saying, hey, King Gio, how can you be the poorest man in baseball if he's the richest? It's, I would say, simple. The people he has chosen to run his baseball have been horrible. He should have taken Manaea over Epps any day. Okay, but before I go any further, subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and hit that bell, and that bell will give you a notification as to when I, King Gio, upload a video. And subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. Let's get the algorithm going. So this is what I'm trying to say. Last year I said the Mets should get rid of Ottavino. Ottavino's horrible. Horrible. And then they come in and they get rid of Taijuan Walker, Bassett, and Stroman. Now, mind you, the Mets did something last year that no other team in baseball has ever done, to lose a 20 game lead. Now, this year, they're going to do something that probably no team has ever done, is have the highest payroll in baseball and not make it even to the wild card. Why? Because you have a team that won last year 100 games, but yet they lost 20 to lose first place. That's never been done in baseball before, but the Mets did it. And then the Mets surround himself, Steve Cohen surrounds himself with Epps. Epps brings in Ottavino again, which he shouldn't have. You know how many games Ottavino has blown this year, right? He brings in, at $40 million per year, Verlander. I don't care if he's 40 or 50 years old, but Verlander is not. It's not Nolan Ryan. He is not. So what happens? Then he got Max Scherzer, another guy who you're paying millions of dollars for what? For nothing, because he's not doing anything. Look at Verlander, the way he pitches. When he pitches the ball and he gets a home run, or they hit a home run off him, it's because he's putting the ball in the middle. You know you're a player. You know that you're a veteran. You don't pitch down the middle, especially when you're ahead of the game. When you're 0-2, pitch him to the floor, pitch to him up. But no, pitches to the middle. If you look at all the home runs that these guys have given, especially Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander, has been pitches to the middle. And then they give $50 million to a guy who's never played Major League Baseball. Okay, Major League Baseball is different here than it is in Japan. Baseball is bigger. I mean, one thing can be, you could adjust, don't get me wrong. You know, we see Ichiro Suzuki adjust. We see Ohtani adjust. Those are guys that could adjust, but you're giving $50 million to a player you've never seen. And this guy has been up and down. You know, why didn't we keep Stroman? Why didn't we keep... I can see you getting rid of Stroman because his mouth. But Stroman was a good pitcher. He leads the league in ground balls. Okay? Leads the league in ground balls. Why couldn't you keep on Taijuan Walker? Why couldn't you keep Bassett? Those are guys that you should have kept. But look, you're giving it to these guys that are doing nothing. They're losing games. You give your bullpen. Our bullpen sucks. They were winning 6-5, and they lost 7-6 because the guy hit a batter twice. He had two different batters. What is that? Our pitching staff is horrible. And you expect to win like that? We didn't get no upgrades, guys. Well, you expect to get something when you got Pham. Pham's a good hitter. You re-signed Nimmo, which to a ridiculous contract. They shouldn't have been signed that long. Nimmo has no arm. You need a good center fielder in center field. Because you need to throw runners out, and you need a good arm. So this way people can say, you know what? I'm not going to run on this guy because he has a pretty good arm. Right? And they're doing it. Nimmo's giving up runs in center field because he can't throw. His arm is not the best arm. So people are going to run on him. And Nimmo is the type of player that if you play Nimmo every single day, he's going to get tired and he's not going to produce. Nimmo is the type of player that you could play 4 to 5 days, let him rest 2 or 3 days, and boom, put him back in the lineup. And he will produce. And that's a fact. I've seen it happen. But why And then we got no power. Okay, we didn't get Carlos Correa. That's good because look what Carlos Correa is now. Now we gave up Escobar. Okay, to put Mandic there. And they say he's gonna take over. He's gonna take over Beatty. All right, but who do we got? Who do we got? Nobody. Lindor's not hitting the way he is. Yeah, he got 15 home runs and 53 RBIs. 53 RBIs is good, but I want hits. Lindor's getting paid $200 some odd million for 10 years or $300 million, and he throws that balls on the floor. On the floor. You got Vogelbach. He doesn't even belong to play with the Mets or any team because he does nothing. And I'm not talking about his weight because that has nothing to do with it. Because Mo Vaughn was a big man, but Mo Vaughn played first base. You know, and if you're gonna produce like Big Papi, then you produce. There's a hit here, hit there. Because when he goes to first base, he gets stuck in first base. Can't go nowhere. He can't stretch his arms. He's a waste of a player, at least for the Mets. Take him to another team. We don't need him. I don't know why he's still there. But in reality, who do we have besides Peter Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and Lindor that's going to produce that you can count on? You can count on Nemo once in a while. Yes, you can. But Pham, no. Canna, no. Sterling Marte, he's worse. He's playing worse this year than he did last year. And last year he was playing good until he hurt himself. Beatty's too young. McNeil's going to be McNeil. You can't count on Alvarez. Canna in the outfield. So who do you got? This is not a scary lineup, guys. It's the same lineup last year. That yes, despite the fact that they won 100 games, it's the same lineup and pitching staff. Not the same pitching staff, but the same lineup that lost a 20-game series. I mean, a 20-game lead. Think about that. You lost a 20-game lead. You had the National League East on your hands, and you lost it by 20 games. No other team has done that. So what does that tell you? That Steve Cohen, with the money that he has, he is not getting the best advice from his general manager. He's not getting the best advice. And if you knew that it was going to be this bad, you might as well just bring up the young guys and let them play. And let them develop. And then we'll go from there. Then from there, we'll go for next year. Let's see how they're going to play. Can't kill the roster, right? I mean, you got over $200 million invested in payroll alone. And you got no pitching staff. You got no reliever. You say the loss of Diaz. Yeah, but Diaz only can save a game. And he only can pitch so many days. So that's irrelevant. You got Ottavino, who's a horrible player. Horrible. Okay? The Mets should get another player. The Mets should sit down and start him Marte for a while. They should put Nemo in center field. Nemo in right field. Get yourself a good center field. Or put back Marte back in the center field because that's his position. Did you see the balls that they lost yesterday? Did you see the ball that Marte? That was an easy ball to get, even though he hit the wall because he didn't catch it, but he was right there. A good right fielder catches that ball. That's not his position. We need better. Also, we need a better management. Buck Showalter, with all those wins that he got, apparently he's old school. He is way too old school. He don't hit a run. He doesn't bump. He doesn't steal. He doesn't play the small ball game. He does not play he doesn't play small ball. He doesn't. He keeps his players too long. Why on earth are you keeping Vogelbach? Why? Oh, because statistic? Forget about statistic. Statistic don't mean nothing. Just because he's hitting 340 against this pitcher doesn't mean he's going to keep on hitting this pitcher. Baseball is a different sport from any other sport. Okay? You don't know where the ball is going to go. You don't know. You can hit it real hard and it goes to the pitcher. You can hit it real hard and it goes to the third. You can hit it real hard and it goes right in front of you. You can't predict where the ball is going to go. So just because he's batting 390 against this right-hander, doesn't give you the right to put him in because you don't know what's going to happen. It's unpredictable. It's unpredictable. How many times he could have gone to Escobar? Vogelbach had, what, three hits the other day? When then they came back today. I mean, yesterday he was horrible. Like I said, baseball is an unpredictable sport. But we have nobody. We have no pitching staff. None. Carrasco's okay. Okay? That's it. Scherzer is a scrub. Verlander is another scrub. Okay? We have no pitching. How are we supposed to contend? Okay? Last year, we were scoring 5 to 6 runs per game, guys. We were number 1 in scoring runs. This year, we're like last. Last. We don't move guys over. Look at that embarrassment steal at the third base. I mean, the last week from the Yankees. The guy stole home base. Home. Escobar didn't say anything to anybody. Hey, pitcher. Lindor didn't say, hey, pitcher. The guy didn't say, hey, pitcher. Nobody said anything. And the guy stole home base. What does that tell you as a team? No one called timeout. Then told the pitcher, yo, this guy's taking a big lead. You got to watch him. No one did anything. And those are plays that you got to look at, and those are embarrassing plays, especially when you're on national television. Those are embarrassing plays. So what are you going to do now? What are we going to do now? The All-Star's upon us. Midway through the game, midway through the season is upon us. What are we going to do? They're saying that the trading to Escobar, Steve Cohen decided to bite the bullet on that and just take, and pay most of the chunk of Alfonso's pay. But for what? If you're gonna eat his pay, bring in a player. Bring in a good player. I know everybody's like, oh, bring in Vientos and Mauricio. Guys, these guys are still young. I mean, look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati brought his player, and he's playing excellent. If you want to do that, you could do that. But then you got to change them, because who's going to play second base? Who's going to play third base? You're going to get Beatty out. I mean, to me, Beatty still should go back down, because Beatty, he still needs a little bit more polishing. But who are we going to get? And like I said, if Verlander keeps throwing down the pipe and Scherzer keeps throwing down the pipe, we're going to lose the game. And as long as you keep putting Ottavino in the game, Ottavino is going to lose. If you put him 10 times, I'll guarantee you he's going to lose 6 games. He is going to blow the lead 6 times. Because he's that type of pitcher. I didn't want him last year. I didn't even want him this year. And then the Mets signed him, like, oh my God, that was a waste. You could have given Singer $10 million, $20 million to see how he pitched. Right? You didn't have to give Verlander $40 million because he's Verlander? Really? What has Verlander done? Nothing. Nothing. So, the richest man in baseball is also, I'm sorry to say this, the dumbest. Because he's supposed to surround himself with men who know baseball. Epps is not that man. Maybe you could bring in Carlos Beltran. You already brought him in. Have him GM you or have him manage you. Because I think for me, Buck Showalter is not the manager of the Mets. Wasn't last year. They didn't win 100 games because of him. They won 100 games because of the team. But they also, if you put that in perspective, they won 100 games. They also lost 20 games to blow the lead. Right? And then they did a disservice bringing in Alvarez as a catcher in a playoff-like game for the Braves to only strike out most of the time. A rookie. or you're going to use another player to take that position. You don't bring in a rookie for a few games because you know the rookie's going to swing at everything because he wants something to prove. He wants to prove to his family. He wants to prove to himself. And he's not relaxed. He wants to swing at everything. That's the rookie. So, with that being said, if the Mets don't turn it around, if they don't get rid of Vogelbach and they don't get rid of certain players that they need to get rid of, this is going to happen. Look at this. This is going to happen. So the Mets should get rid of Vogelbach, get rid of Ottavino, and get players. Yo, if you have to get players that's going to win, that's going to get you just, if they're rentals, get the rentals, because the point of this game is that you spend so much money to get all these players. Because you already basically didn't change anything. So get all these players to do nothing. To be 30 and 40, whatever it is that we are under. And that's embarrassing. That's going to be embarrassing at the end of the game, at the end of the year. Because people are going to say, you see, we told you so. We don't need money. Look at the Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles are playing way better baseball than we are. The Baltimore Orioles, guys. And even the Pittsburgh Pirates. And their bankroll's not even, their payroll's not even half of what we have. Is that when you have a good team and you have young kids who want to play, and young kids who are developing, and young kids who are playing the game the way it needs to be played, and not do these mental errors and not do the stupidity, you will play. I mean, you will win. Have players with skills, but not the way they do it, not the way the Mets are doing it. The way the Mets are doing it is ridiculous. You know, you got all these. We have the oldest pitching staff in baseball. We have the oldest team in baseball. It's time that we cut down and give these young kids a chance. And I think this is the chance to do it. You know, if you're going to bring in Vientos, bring in Vientos. If you're going to bring Mauricio, get rid of Vogelbach. You already got rid of Escobar. I don't know why you brought this Mandic up. And just keep on playing these young kids and let them develop in their own way. It's just because this season, the way it is slipping away again. Or the pitchers are not pitching. And Alvarez is not a good call player either. He calls for fastball. I mean, he calls for plays. He calls for pitches that he shouldn't be calling. But it is what it is. So let's just hope the Mets turn it around. They get decent players this upcoming before the trade deadline. And if not, we're just gonna have if not, you just have to have those young players play and bring it on for next year. But he has to Steve Cohen has to surrender himself with baseball savvy people.